Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Um, I'm coming back on my channel after almost 2 years. Due to some or the other circumstances, I was not able to create new content, and that's my bad. So I apologize for it. But I've realized that in order to do justice to all the subscribers and the new folks who are coming onto my channel, I should continue creating content that is relevant for each one of you. So here I am again creating a new video, which hopefully should be able to help all the viewers out there. So today I am going to talk about three best ways to switch your career from QA or SDET job family into program management. It could be a technical program management or a program management without the T part. Right now, before getting started, I would want to give you some context. Right, as many of you would be aware that when this channel was started, I was a engineering manager in Amazon in quality domain, and that's where I used to post videos. But since then, I have switched my profile into technical program management, and I've been program managing in various companies like Amazon, and then moved to HackerRank, and then now in Mindical, where I've been working for more than a year now, right? And I'm kind of a principal TPM here in Mindical. So I thought that I should now start pivoting my content from QA to TPM. The reason being, you will have the best and the latest information of the field where you are working in. The previous content on QA side still holds true. It will continue to hold true because the tips and tricks and the interview cracking methodologies that I shared, it will perpetually hold true because those are all generic and they hold true for any kind of interviewing. But going forward, I would focus more on the TPM side of things, and that's where I'm coming up with this very first video to just connect the dots between these two job families. That if someone is looking to do a job family change due to some or the other reason, either they have hit a ceiling in their QA job family, or they want to try and explore program management and not really sure that how to do it, right? So that's where my experience will come handy, and I feel that if I share that, maybe some people will get benefit from it. So having said that, let's start this video. um, uh, I've not very well prepared that how would I go about telling you the content. This is a very impromptu video. So bear, just forgive me for any kind of ums in the middle, right? So let's get started. So there are typically three ways in which you can switch your job family, right? The three ways that I am aware of and that I feel are the most relevant ways of switching job families. There could be multiple other ways, but I guess these three are the most valid ways in which you can switch your job family. The first one is the most obvious one and the most organic one, and the best way to switch job family is to ask for program management work within your current role. And at least that's how I started, partially. I'll come to the partial part later, but that's the best way to get started, where as a quality engineer you are anyhow aware of the end-to-end product, right? You are anyhow working with a lot of stakeholders, where your testing might be dependent, or you might be communicating a lot of statuses to the stakeholders, right? To your upper stakeholders or the horizontal stakeholders. So you are doing a bit of program management, maybe at a smaller scale, but you all would be aware that how you connect or talk to your stakeholders, right? And stakeholder management is one aspect of it. So it becomes easy for you to talk to your managers that, hey, I am already doing this thing. Can you provide me maybe a small project, right, which takes not more than 10 to 20% of my bandwidth, and I would like to try out program management and see if it suits me, right? The whole point is that you cannot directly switch from 100% to 0% uh, in QA and then start 100% doing TPM work, right? You'll have to build that rapport with your management that yes, you are capable of doing it, and the only organic way to do it is to ask for a smaller project, maybe a project that manager is himself or herself overseeing, and then you feel that you can add value to it. Maybe ask for a small portion of it. Maybe your manager is driving some cross team communication in terms of a bigger strategic project that is coming in your company, and then they are supposed to create the strategy document for it, just as an example. So you can pitch in and then try to say that, hey, how about if I coordinate this particular piece of strategy with the other teams, right? It might so happen that your manager is supportive of what you want to do, and they allow you to carve out some betterment from your current responsibilities and work towards it. And that's the best case scenario, where that's a very good sign that your manager is really behind you and wants you to grow in your career. It might be the same job family or a different job family, but the things are not always rosy, right? So it might happen that you might hear no, in terms of no, we need you here 100% into the job family, and then maybe let's see some other time, or maybe let's talk about it, or maybe let's just sit through it, right, and see that what will be your best career path, right? In that case, the best way to move forward would be to just have one-on-ones with your manager, right? Try to make him understand that how you are not that motivated enough to continue in this job family, or at least would like to try out some other job family, and if required, you are ready to stretch, right? If your workload is such that you are not able to carve out additional bandwidth for program management, take that additional hit for a fixed period of time, maybe for about maybe a month or 2 months, where you kind of stretch and help your manager in some of the program management work, right? This in turn will show your commitment towards the path that you want to pursue, right? And this is a very healthy way to start the discussions, right? This way your manager knows that you have your current job responsibilities in mind, and you want to make sure you do 100% justice to them, and thinking about your next career path is something that you want to pursue, but without at the cost of your current job responsibility. So it creates a good rapport with your manager, and then when they see that yes, you're really committed for the current responsibilities, as well as you really want to explore the next job family, so they try to give you some additional bandwidth, maybe after some time, once you have demonstrated that how you can work into that role, that okay, now let's do a 80-20 or 90-10% of split, where 90% you spend on your QA responsibilities, and 10% let's do some program management stuff. So maybe your sprints or your month or whatever is the measurement of time in your company, you get to divide that work, right? So the whole point of this approach is to take your manager into confidence, build the rapport with your manager, and assess that how much of support that manager is willing to give you at that point of time. It might so happen they allow you to pursue program management in a very limited capacity, which is a good way to start, or it might so happen that no, we are overwhelmed with the current work, and then maybe let's wait for some other time. Both the cases are possible. There is no right or wrong case, right? I have been into those shoes, and I know that it's not always possible to honor all the requirements or all the ambitions of all the engineers. That does not mean we'll not honor them. It might just happen that we might want to delay it in lieu of whatever the current organizational priorities, right? So take the call, read the situation, and then make the best move, right? But this is the very first way of switching into program management. Once you start establishing that you are capable of it, you have the basic traits to be a good program manager, you continue to expand your percentage of program management within the same team, and then eventually you and your manager both would hit a point, an inflection point, where it would become evident that you are good in this role, and it's time for you for specifically for your manager to look out for some opportunity within the organization or within the team to give you a full-time program management role, right? It might so happen there is no program management role available in your company. In that case, you might just have to look out, because now by this time it is established that you can do program management, but and you are no longer motivated to continue in the QA job family, but there is no opportunity that exists in the current company. So manager would themselves would want you to move to a company where you have the relevant opportunity that exists, right? So sometimes that might just backfire, that if there was no opportunity and you prove to be good, then you might just have to look out in some other company. And that is where the second step comes, or the second way of switching into program management job family comes. So what if there is no relevant program management opportunity that exists in your organization, or at least at that point of time? So the second option is to look out in the market and target these startups, right? It will never happen that you have zero program management experience and then you apply to Microsoft, Google's, or Amazon's and then ask them that, hey, at least give me an interview call. Like, why would they, right? Every company has a TPM role, and that TPM role demands some kind of prior experience before you even get hired at the entry level TPM role. The only exception is with the startups, where they are looking for multifaceted people, where they need a quality person, and once you converse with them, they are ready to give you some program management work as well, because for startups it's a win-win. There is a candidate or there is a resource that is coming in who's ready to do both sides of the things. In return, that at some point of time, the company will switch them into full-time program management, right? And that's not very rare. A lot of startups do that. I myself worked in a startup called Noon, right? Where I started as a QA manager in the interim, and then I switched into program management, and that's where that partial part comes, right? Partially I switched within Amazon, but after that I left Amazon after doing the program management thing, and then I went to a startup, and that's where I officially got the title of program manager, and I actually switched completely, right? So because at that point of time there was no relevant open opportunity that existed in Amazon. So what I'm trying to say is that the startups are your best bet when you are switching the job families, because it's a win-win situation for both. Uh, they want to stay lean, they want to cut on the cost, so they are getting a resource who has seen both sides of our world and want to work on both sides of the things. So it might be a bit of a slog at the starting for you, but in the long run you get to move to a program management role and start building some of the expertise in that, right? You'll need to have some kind of data point in projects, right, to showcase in your resume, so that once you're done with the startups and want to apply for some established company to bring back the work-life balance, you have some proven work that will back you, right, to at least try for an entry-level role, right? So that's the second option, to look for the startups, try to talk to their recruiters, offer them this proposition, and out of 10, 4 will always be supportive, right? If you are a really good QE or a QA manager, or someone in the quality job family, they will be ready to take you, and then you can just set this additional expectation of that, yeah, this is where I want to venture into. I don't have a timeline in place. Whenever both company and I align in terms of, yes, I'm ready to move into program management, we'll do that, but at least I'm joining this organization with the expectation that that's where I want to move, and I will get the opportunities of program management from day one, right? And that's not a very bullish ask, right? A lot of startups support that. They like people who are multifaceted, who can contribute to different side of things, right? The third thing is you try to gain some certifications. For example, PMP is one of the highest level program management certification, right? Um, you try to gain some certifications, and then you publish yourself in some of the consultancy websites like Upwork, and then there are some more, right, where you project yourself as a tenured engineer or a tenured resource in who has worked into quality domain and has a extensive experience of program management within the same domain. And additionally, you are PMP certified, and PMP is a big certification. I myself have it, where it kind of certifies that yes, you know the nuances of program management, you know about cost management, you know about stakeholder management, you know about communication management, right, and you know schedule management, right? So it's a pretty good certification to have. uh, at least it'll help you a lot when you are looking out for a freelancing job. Now, why I told that the third option is around freelancing, because if there is no corporate which is allowing you to get into the program management at this point of time, then there are a lot of folks who are ready to hire freelancers, and they are looking for managers who have a specific kind of background. And a lot of program management opportunities come for the folks who have a quality background, right? So if you just publish yourself in on those platforms as someone who has good program management experience, as a PMP certification, and has a good domain knowledge, you might get a request from the potential clients to do a pilot with them for a couple of months, right? Now, why I've kept this on the third, because this has the lowest conversion rate, right? There are tons of project management consultants out there, right, and who have vast amount of experience, who have left the corporate and came into freelancing. So it's not really easy to stand yourself out amongst a huge pool of program managers, and that's where putting those certifications in place, putting your quality management experience in place, and putting your company name in place. And in freelancing world, you have to put a price also, that how much you're going to charge per hour, right? So all those things combined will help you to get some recognition when a client is searching for a potential project manager. But I would say that this does not have a very high conversion rate, right? Pivot to this approach only when you have exhausted your first two approaches. I would still say that when you have exhausted first two approaches and you still haven't been able to crack into program management, or at least start some program management work, that means you have not tried enough. Or maybe there are some other ways that we should try to explore the first two approaches. The third one has a really less conversion rate. Rather, the third approach can be done in parallel to 1 and 2, right? You put your profile up for grabs in any freelance website, right? And side by side, you continue to look for a corporate which might give you that opportunity to grow into program management, right? Now, these three are the ways that I've personally explored, and that's where I'm talking from my personal experience. I explored the first two approaches, and that's how I got into program management. And once you get into program management, it's all about your performance, right? You should be able to understand the nuances of program management. You should be able to add value to the organization, because program managers are very easy to replace, right? When the layoffs come, you might be the first one to get impacted, because at some point of time, even an engineering manager can double down and play the role of program managers, right? So you need to be really good at that skill before you really think of switching your job family. Now, the ball does not stop there, right? There are a lot of nuances of a program manager or a technical program manager, which I would definitely like to talk about, maybe not in this video, in my next video, that what is the difference between these two roles, a program manager and a technical program manager. Obviously the T part is visible, but what exactly people are looking for in a T part, and what exactly people are looking in a program management role without a T. Right, there are much more nuances to it, and this will help you to gauge that whether you should aim for a TPM or a PM. Both roles have demand in market. Both have their pros and cons, and both have at central the program management. But there are few more nuances which are very industry specific that I would want to talk about in my next video. But uh, before that, I would like to see the reaction on this video. If people really find it useful, and if they feel that whatever I have shared has some value, then I would be more than happy to create the next video on around what is the difference between these two roles, so that you can choose which path you should pursue, and are you really fit or not, and what are those pitfalls that you should avoid while choosing these roles. Right, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? But the reality is different. Right, so with that note, I would like to end this video today. I hope you guys liked my video. Again, do post your comments. I'll try to respond ASAP whenever I see a comment. And then, yeah, see you next time. Until then, bye bye.